everybody, and welcome to Perfectly Palm Beach. This is our second episode. I'm taping 2 in one day, which is so much fun, which is why you're seeing me in the same dress. So this dress, guys, is called the Nap Dress from Hill House, which is a new company that I found on Instagram sitting during COVID, like all of us inside on our phones and on our computers, shopping and trying to while away the day and try to stay safe. And I love this dress. There are lots of them online. So I suggest if you're in the market for something new, go look at Hill House, hillhouse.com, I believe it is, or just even Google nap dress. It'll come up. When I first saw it, I thought it was like a nightgown. And, you know, who sleeps in nightgowns down to their ankles? It's like, you know, Little House on the Prairie. Who sleeps like that?
Nightgown.
Yeah.
Looks good.
No, I had it cut. So it's shorter. So it's so cute. I love it. It's very comfortable. Anyways, okay. Today, my second guest is Chris Leavitt. And you need very little introduction because everybody knows your face. You've been on the Millionaire Listing TV show with all those gorgeous guys from New York City. You fit right in with your handsome face.
So sweet.
And you're one of the top real estate agents in the country. And really what I love about you is there's so many things, but you really fit into the theme of Perfectly Palm Beach because you span the ages, you span the time. You've got friends of all age groups. You're involved in philanthropy here. You know the town really well. And despite your extraordinary success, you're incredibly authentic and down to earth and genuine, and what you see is what you get. And I love that about you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I think I think it's an important thing to point out, particularly one of the messages I want to get through in this podcast, because I don't think people think that people in Palm Beach are like that. And,
No.
And everybody's so wonderful here, really. I mean, you know, everybody's happy but everybody's got problems. I mean, everybody's had, you know, mountains and valleys. Yes. Anyways, okay, let's get off that. Let's talk about this extraordinary real estate wave that has happened in this town.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Love having you
This is
here.
a really great outlet and podcast that you have.
Thank you.
I think that we're at the tip of the iceberg. I think we're just getting started.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. But there's no inventory. There are no houses left.
That's true. But you know what will happen is there'll be another wave of sales. It's going to happen again.
What started it, Chris?
Well,
yeah, explain
it. The taxes started it, obviously, the benefit of living in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was the middle of Ohio and you could save taxes, would people be moving to the middle of Ohio? Probably not. So the common denominator and the reason why people live in Palm Beach is because of its beauty.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible real estate, the topography,
the weather.
Every inch of Palm Beach Island is like
so beautiful.
Perfection. So I hate to say that the taxes are the number one drive, but it's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The icing on the cake is the weather.
The lifestyle.
Yeah. We've also come to a time where people at the level, the level of people that are buying can work from home, right? They're not being called back to the office, even when it's time to go back to the office.
Correct.
They can work from home. They've built their businesses the way they want to build them. So they're either able to work from home
mm-hmm.
or move their companies down here. And that's what you're seeing. And that's why I say it's the tip of the iceberg, because the office buildings that are going to house these companies haven't even been built yet.
Yeah, no, you can see the landscape changing, not just in the incredible high rises, but out towards the airport, all the buildings that are being renovated into office parks.
Exactly.
Kind of thing,
right.
Which is easy for companies that are based in New York and LA and Palm Beach to get from the airport to their office. It's simple.
It's
right?
easy, right?
I mean, it's crazy.
So right over the bridge they're building, Related is building a 25-story office tower. Right over the middle bridge.
Right.
That hasn't broken ground yet. So all those people that are going to work there, they haven't even come to Palm Beach yet. So I can't imagine what's going to be the case in the next 12 to 18 months. Yes, we have an inventory shortage for sure, but there will be people that see the opportunity. They'll just sell. You know, they'll move somewhere else. Well,
that's an interesting point, really, because everybody that I talk to says, well, gosh, I was offered this extraordinary number for my house, incredible number for my condominium, but where am I going to go?
Right.
So as a real estate person here, are you just calling everybody that you know and saying, hey, I've got a buyer. I forget what that's called.
off market or
like a pocket listing or something.
Listing, right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to get tough with the real estate brokers. I'll tell you, in Palm Beach, it's going to be very competitive
because it's going to be like who you know.
Oh yes.
Whose dinner party were you at?
Yep. It's going to get ugly.
Yeah. Whose charity did you support?
Yes. So, but no, fortunately, everybody really gets along really well on the island. The realtors, we really all love each other and have fun. But it will get competitive, and it is. It's about it's a chess game. It will be a chess game, putting the pieces together, finding a matchmaking service almost, if you will.
Yeah, right.
Putting people in other places. And then, of course, things will move out west. They'll move up north and south. And suddenly, areas of West Palm Beach that maybe were not desirable will become desirable soon.
So I read about this concept, which I hadn't really heard of before. And I'm wondering if it's just because of what's happening here, or it happens in all communities that are exploding like ours in a good way. It's called it's like a place card holder. Like people are literally buying something just to have something, even though it's not really their dream home.
Exactly. Place card. Is
that what it's a place card holder?
A placeholder.
Right? A placeholder. Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
So, they sell their $40 million apartment in New York City. They can't find that dream home yet. So they're living in a ranch house in the North End.
God forbid.
Until they find that dream house or a piece of land comes available. Yes. So there is a lot of sort of settling, if you will, for people right now to just have a place to sit, to get their kids into school and then feel it out and see where they want to be.
And then people are buying stuff kind of sight unseen, right? So somebody calls and says, that's the other part of the description of a placeholder, right?
Yes.
It's just, they just pick up the phone and they go, okay, I'll take it. Because they're afraid by the time they get on their plane and get down here, or if they've got to wait for JetBlue, God forbid, like me, then the place that they're interested in is gone.
Exactly. So, you can the good and the bad of Florida real estate is you can reserve a place. You can put a deposit down and you have an inspection period. So what a lot of people are doing is that they're doing that. They're FaceTiming with their agents. They're putting the deposit down. Then they're getting on the plane and coming. Some say, oh my gosh, this is better in person. Or some people say, oh my God, thank God I got on the plane.
Right. Right. So what do you think, where do you think the bubble's going to get pushed out to? Are Wellington, North Palm Beach, what do you think is going to happen? So
I think you can already see it. Even areas of Lake Worth, way south of Southern towards Lake Worth on the water, those are becoming popular. Some numbers have been achieved on North Flagler, north of Good Sam, that are unheard of numbers.
Oh, interesting.
In houses, that were maybe worth $3 million 8 months ago are now worth $6 million. So prices have doubled. You're going to see development going up along the Rybovich, waterfront. You're already seeing Related doing a rental building there.
Correct.
That real estate will become more desirable. Everything will get pushed north. That's really where there is opportunity.
You think north rather than west or out towards Wellington?
Well, Wellington is in its own market in itself, but yes, because between Palm Beach Island and Wellington, you've got highways and there isn't much sort of dense real estate there. Right. But
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I do see the northern part, Northwood, North Flagler, that's going to boom.
Amazing.
It's amazing real estate, and it's underutilized.
It's funny when you drive west here and I'm talking like an hour away, right? It's like you're in a different country. It's all farmland. There's so much land. It goes on and on and on and on for miles and miles. So development can happen for the next, 25 years, 50 years. I don't know. What do you think?
I do believe that, yes. But, the prime real estate is really what people want, close to the water. So I think that's
that's true.
I think that's why Northwood and that area is just so ripe. But we've got to get the developers that own that land to really start developing it.
So what's going to happen south, towards Fort Lauderdale and Boca and Miami? Miami's exploding, right?
Exploding. Boca, Delray, Ocean Ridge, Manalapan, they're all booming. It's
incredible.
Anywhere.
Incredible.
South Florida, anywhere you go, it's on fire.
It's so exciting. It's exciting to be a part of it, isn't it?
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Very grateful. I sold real estate in New York City for 20 years. We had ups and downs like you have no idea. But
my gosh, I know, because I'm a wife of a Wall Streeter, so I know. You're on the mountain and then you're in the valley. And you're on the mountain and you're in the valley. Not quite, but
yes.
Yeah.
But that's why right now I tell realtors, they ask my opinion, new brokers say, what do you do? I said, right now, if you're doing well, you save your money because
good advice.
Know. But in this case, I think that we have a really long
gravy
road
train
of solid sales ahead of us. Yep.
That's very exciting. Can you share with us? I jumped right into what's going on in Palm Beach, but I know you actually have been doing this a long time.
Yes.
And you are well known for having sold the most expensive condominium in South Florida, correct? For $34 million in Miami, which was, how many years ago was that?
That was 2013. Okay. That was at Ian Schrager's Addition. It was a double condo sale for $34 million. You know, we chuckle now because we're like, oh,
that's
nothing. Nothing. No, but at the time that was a huge number. It's still a massive number.
It's still a big number, of course. Yeah.
But you know, it was exciting back then, and that really was a big coup in my feather in my, whatever you call that.
Feather in my cap. Yeah.
And really helped launch my career here.
Definitely. And then how did that transition you into television? Did the television happen first before the 34 million, or did 34 million launch you into your television career?
I think it happened very
simultaneously.
Right. So
because when it rains, it pours.
Right. They were looking for talent for the show, and Barbara Corcoran.
I love Barbara.
From Shark Tank, who I worked for in New York City.
Love her.
I guess they asked her if she knew anyone in Florida, and she said, I think Chris is in Florida now. You should call him. So I tried out for the New York show. I didn't get it. And
those auditions go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it was years.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, I'd forgotten about it, and then they called me and then signed the contract, and about 2 weeks later we started filming.
Incredible. Did you like doing that?
I did, but the secret of that show was that you had to have approval to film everything. So we, like, all the listings that I had at that time, I couldn't film any of them because we couldn't get into the W South Beach, which I had tons of listings there. They wouldn't let us film. Ian did not want anything to do with the show.
Production
whatsoever.
Nightmare is what you're saying.
Yeah. So Ian Schrager said, you know, why are you doing this? You're so good in real estate. Like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because it's an opportunity. You know, I would love to do it. Why not? And he wanted no part of it. So I couldn't, even though I was selling his amazing project audition, I couldn't film anything there. So the stressful part was finding product that I could show on
which you
TV.
Had to do and not your producer doing.
Oh no,
you had to do it.
The producers were from LA. They knew nothing about Miami
so
real
you
estate.
were like, you know, you were not just the talent. You were the producer. You were the casting director. You were everything. Location scout. Everything.
It was brutal. And I had
so much work. I know what that means.
I had to work at Ian Schrager's project. You know, I was selling that building.
Right.
Full time.
Oh my gosh, so incredible!
It was nuts.
Because you know, to be successful, you got to juggle a million balls all the time, and it was probably an amazing experience for you.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
yes,
unbelievable.
It was a lot of fun.
So great.
It only lasted one season, but that was probably good because it was enough.
Okay, was it enough? Did you want to go back onto television again? I mean.
I would do something.
Here's your opportunity, darling.
Exactly.
Open casting call for Chris Leavitt.
I would do something that's fun and real. You know, that was very manufactured. We had to do a lot of acting.
Gotcha. I know. Yeah.
You know,
look, as a mother of an actor, I've got one child in front of the camera and one behind the camera.
Right.
And this past weekend we were in New York, and I watched all of his, well, not all of them, but a lot of audition tapes that he's done recently. And I mean, every character is different. It's just because now actors have to put it all on tape, right? But it's acting, you know, I mean, it's kind of fascinating, the whole behind the scenes, and till you get the job.
Yeah.
I mean, putting the tape, getting the call is one thing. Just putting the tape together is another thing. I know how much work that is, and how it's nice to really do something that's meaningful on camera rather than be somebody that you don't really want to be.
Like, take your personality, but then like they want you to, like, I do take a lot of baths, so that was the one thing that they knew about me.
Baths?
Baths, I do. Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they're like, all right, well, great. Well,
wait, with Epsom salt and lavender.
Yeah,
like what's your specialty?
Like, I love, you know, candles and bath salts and doing the bath
too.
rub, you know, feeling like I'm at a spa.
Yeah, I love that.
But that's private. But they're like, let's, you know, make that part of who you are. And I'm like doing business deals in the tub, it's amping up your. So it was a lot of that. I'm like, I have to go in the bathtub again.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, they've got to create and create you as a separate character from everybody else that's on, right?
Yes. And then fight with this person because of that. I'm like, yeah, but that didn't happen.
See, I could never do that. I'm so non-confrontational.
Yeah. Oh, I'm.
No. I want to love everybody.
I did love that, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Incredible.
Yeah.
So let's just back up here for a quick second. I can't let you go without talking about a couple of other things.
Sure.
One is the massive, incredible number one house that was sold here. I have two different numbers. It's 535 North County, right?
Yes.
And it was at 122 million or 140 million. I've gotten two numbers. 132 to be right in the middle there. Yep. Okay. So tell us how that happened, how you got involved in that,
sure.
and how did you guys sell it? It was on the market for a month.
Yep. So it was on the market with Lawrence Moans, who is the top realtor in Palm Beach. I interned for him when I was 17 in high school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
It was great.
Down here?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went to high school in Boston, but came down here. He was awesome.
You wanted to be in real estate. You knew that at 16?
I knew that, and I knew Palm Beach.
Amazing.
But, through my 20s and 30s when I was selling real estate elsewhere, Palm Beach was not a cosmopolitan place to live.
I know,
in your 20s.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've been coming since I'm 3 years old, so this is not my mother's Palm Beach.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So I didn't feel that it was like the right time.
Right.
Until the Bristol, but anyhow. So I interned for him and had an amazing time. But back to your question. He was the listing broker. Mm-hmm. And I always said for the past several years, I'm like, I want to do a big deal with Lawrence Moans because I never have. And that would just bring everything full circle. This guy that I interned with, doing a big deal with.
It's like pitching with CC Sabathia.
Correct.
It's like being like on the Yankees or something incredible, right? Or
exactly
being on center court with Shaq.
Exactly.
Right? I get it.
Very good analogy. Yes.
I get it.
Now, I don't think he would appreciate it because he's nice, but he's not that
sporty. Okay. Well, I'm a mother of boys. I can't help it. That's where I go.
He's nice and great. And I think he appreciated it, but it meant more to me, I think.
Okay.
Right. So, but how do we get
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I mean, for me, I didn't really show it or express it, but I really, it meant the world to me to have that done that way.
Right.
But it came to me through Ryan Serhan from $1 Million Listing New York. He and I are very close. We went to the same high school in Boston.
Oh, you did? Is that how you know him?
He's 10 years younger, but
who's talking age? We're going to ignore that.
So he was at my high school 10 years later. But anyhow, so he refers a lot of business to me and basically referred this client. The client flew down and we had 10 houses to see.
Wow.
That was the first one.
That's a lot of houses to see even in that price range. That's kind of crazy.
Off the market. So I took him there first for a reason because I wanted everything else to be kind of like downhill from there.
Right.
And at the fifth house, his car, it was COVID, so in separate cars, and the buyer's SUV and Ryan's SUV had pulled over, and I was like, "What the heck?" And
what month are we talking about here?
This was April,
do you remember
May
April
of last year? I
think. So that's pretty quiet time here.
Yeah, maybe March.
Yeah. Well, that's not so quiet.
I'm sorry.
But during COVID, it was, but there are more people here. Is the point?
It was
correct.
Recent.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
Bottom line is Ryan said, we're done. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? We're done. We have all these appointments to go to.
Right.
So he said, sorry, we're done. I said, okay. I had to text all the brokers and cancel the appointments. Got into all these houses that
it's not easy.
We're not on the market.
Right.
And then about an hour later said he wants to buy the first one.
Wow. Incredible.
So it was amazing.
Amazing. Did you expect that? No. Incredible. I mean, I watched that house being built because I walk past there almost every day. And it was, you can't see that much from the road, but it was fun, actually, the stuff that you could see, seeing the structure of the house, how they finished it. The landscaping really is truly incredible. And then when you walk it on the beach and then you can really see it, it just opens up in a way that's really fantastic.
Yeah, it's an incredible modern house, and
it's beautiful.
There aren't many of them.
There aren't many of them. That's right.
And that well built and decorated. He bought it just turnkey done. I mean, there was everything but the artwork, and he's so happy. The guy calls me all the time and says, "Thank you so much." And I'm like, "Wow,
how nice is that? That doesn't happen every day."
No, because you sell someone a expensive house and you're like, how is it? Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for something else.
Right.
This guy is beyond happy.
That's really nice.
So
and his whole family is here. His business is here. He's going to be here.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And that's why I say it's the tip of the iceberg, because those kind of people are the founding members, I call them, of the new Palm Beach.
Of the new Palm Beach, exactly.
And then everybody else coming, it's just going to come in droves.
So for a young kid who's listening, who is interested in getting into real estate, what advice would you give them? Because you've seen a lot over 20 years.
Yes.
And I'm sure none of it has been, it hasn't been that smooth. I mean, no career path is a straight line, even if you're a doctor, a lawyer, or a banker.
Right.
Right. And I'm just wondering what kind of advice you could give a kid.
Well, it is a business of relationships, and relationships are everything. So it's not a business where you're, a stockbroker or an analyst and you're, charging through, and it is a competitive world, but you have to have class, elegance, and a really good demeanor to get into this, and you have to be respectful to everybody on the way because people will remember that. So, it is about building relationships and
patience, right?
Patience, listening.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the most important thing to me, especially when I go look at something myself, is to read the room and read the client. Are they the kind of client that wants you to take them around to every single room, or do they just want you to
step back
and let them absorb it. So listening to the clients and feeling their energy, it's intuition. It takes a lot of intuition and a lot of listening to be successful, because you can't take the same formula with every client.
It's kind of life experience though, right? I mean, that just kind of takes time to kind of build that. I mean, a young person doesn't necessarily have that, but they've got to get their real estate license. And what if they're in California, but they want to come to Florida? I mean, and they've passed the real estate, they've gotten their real estate license in California. I mean, how does that all work? I never knew that, actually.
Well, every state is different.
Every
state's
different.
You have to be licensed in every state. But, the most important thing is to let everybody know that you're in the business. Let the world know. Walking up to people at bars and handing them your business card is not something I would recommend at all. I've seen it and it's awful. But it's really working your relationships in the most elegant, sort of subtle way. Social media, has that played a huge new role in this business? It has. It's very engaging. The more followers you have, the better. I think I've sold real estate through, I can't really prove it, but I think through social media things. You think people that follow you have called you and said, this guy's the kind of guy that I might want to work with? Yes. And also like for me, I am looking right now for an off-market property for a client of mine. He knows everything that's on the market. I follow every top agent in South Florida because I want to see what they're advertising, because they put off-market things on there all the time. Right. So social media is huge because that's where things go first. Coming up, my next new listing, that's a huge part of it. And then being engaging on social media too, which is what we were talking about earlier. Right. Like, I think it's time for me to kind of, bring out the TikTok, which I never thought of before, but I need to be a little bit more engaging with my followers. Once you kind of, get onto all the platforms. I mean, this show, everybody, is going to be, I should have mentioned that earlier. It's going to be on every platform. Oh, great. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, everything, and Apple and Spotify and YouTube. Wow. Yeah. So you're big time now. Audio and video, and it's all out there, and it's changing everybody's lives. I mean, I think it's changed literally every business there is, right? So I think if, you can pull people in and they like you and they see that you're somebody that, is somebody they can work with, then why not use it, right? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's so many great tools, but it's using it the right way too. Right. Exactly. Like if you're a real estate broker and then you like to swimsuit model on the side, maybe have a separate account for that. I would say that's true. Yeah. Don't mix the two. Don't mix the two. No. Okay. So you're a Palm Beach guy here. Yes. We need to know the things that you love about Palm Beach, like your favorite restaurant. Where do you love to hang out? Where do you love to swim? Yep. Things that you love here. Just share with everybody. Okay. So like you've been coming here since I was a kid. Just love the classics. That's what I love the Colony so much. Me too. I learned to swim in that pool. You did. Is that where you guys stayed? Yes. Yeah. We lived in the villas across the street growing up in the wintertime. it's a warm, happy memory place. And it's maintained that history. And that's what's so beautiful about Palm Beach. Even if a new place opens, it's opening up in a historical site, right?
No, there's no question.
So for instance, Bill Bouquet, which is an amazing restaurant, is in the Via that's been there forever. So it has history, but it's new. So it's that mix of the two, which I love.
Right.
I swim every day. It's funny you said swim. I live in a building which has one of the largest pools in Palm Beach. And that is just my sanity. It's a saltwater pool. Every day after work,
exercise.
Because if I don't do it, I don't stay sharp and calm and relaxed, which is what I need to do.
I love that.
Just no two ways about it. So, and then I just love, the lake trail and just the nature of Palm Beach. I do the beauty of it. And I have to keep reminding myself of it because, it does get intense throughout the season.
Because I have a bad back, I walk all the time. I mean, I'm a super athletic person, but because I've got this back, I can't do everything that I want to do all the time. Mm-hmm. So I walk everywhere here, lake trail, South Palm Beach, North Palm Beach, everywhere. And there are all these really beautiful, I always find some really beautiful little trail, an interesting little fence that's open, and there's a beautiful pathway and all the textures of all the different leaves that are around in the foliage. I mean, it's just it's incredible. When I'm walking with my husband, I always say, wait, stop. Do you smell that? Yeah. Do you smell that, Jasmine? It's insane. It's so yummy.
Right.
You can't believe it. Yeah. Yes. I love that. So I think that somebody needs to do a book on like walking in Palm Beach.
Totally. Appreciating Palm Beach the way that, for the history of it and the beauty of it, because we do get lost in it.
Right. Right.
I know when it gets busy.
When my parents were here, it was every single solitary night. They were out, white gloves. I mean, my mother wouldn't have gone to Palm Beach or to Worth Avenue unless she was dressed to the nines, full makeup, hair done.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, there was a formality to it that isn't here as much anymore.
No.
I mean, nobody would have ridden their bike down Worth Avenue with a tennis racket in their backpack and showing their legs on in a bathing suit.
No
oh my
way.
gosh, or in a little old tennis whites. No.
No. Where are you from originally?
From Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
And there was a huge Pittsburgh crowd here that's still here.
Right.
So it's so fun for me, but it's also fun to have been here for as long as you and I have been here and to kind of see all the changes that have happened.
But at the same time, see how it still has maintained it. I mean, the colony is the perfect example.
I totally agree. It's
like the perfect example.
We're going to have Sarah and Andrew on here,
great.
The Wenton Halls, who own the colony. And if you don't know anything about the colony, you should Google them because it's a great place. They've just redone it all, the lobbies and,
all de
Gournay walls. It's really quite beautiful. Okay. So swimming, the colony,
tennis,
Bill Bouquet. Where do you play tennis?
At my building.
At your building.
Yep,
okay, so you do that all the time.
I have a electric ball machine.
So you do? That's so fun. So you don't even need a pro. You've got the machine. So if you had a guest come in from out of town, you'd go to Bill Bouquet. I mean, what would you do with them?
Well, definitely Bill Bouquet.
Yeah.
La Galou. I would take them to Boucan because it's the most fun.
It is. The food is fantastic there.
But now, all these new
restaurants
dinner
are coming.
Clubs are opening up.
I know.
I heard Annabelle's is coming and 5 Hartford and the Carriage House and Mr. Chow. Is that true? I mean,
I've heard Mr. Chow's, Nobu, Milos.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's just everything is coming. And a lot of it's coming to West Palm Beach, which I think is kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Wonderful. It really is.
I was talking to somebody today and they said, why are people moving to Palm Beach and what is there for them? I said, well, it's actually kind of the opposite. People are moving and then the services are coming after, to service them because I think all these restaurants and businesses are trying to catch up quick and say, oh my goodness, we've got to go there.
Well, the New Yorkers who are used to going to their favorite restaurants like a La Galou, they wanted to be here.
Exactly.
They want the same service here.
Yep, and the same maitre d'.
Right, exactly.
So it's very nice.
So when you get away from Palm Beach, where do you go?
So I go to Palm Springs, California.
Ah, good.
I just bought a place there last week.
Okay, fun. I was at a wedding. My nephew got married there. I'd never been to Palm Springs. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
But it's very like 1950s Brat Packy.
Very.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It still has history too, like Palm Beach. But it's, it's the mountains and it's dry and
beautiful.
And amazing. Even in the summer, it's great. My best friend lives there. So I wanted to it's my escape route.
Oh my God. Well, that's a good one. It's a little far, right?
A bit far, a bit hard to get to, but we make it work.
You got a plan. But if you had to get in your car and you're like, oh my God, I need a day off. I need an afternoon off. Where would you go?
Well, I'd have to think, do I want to go out and dress in black and be a little chic, go to Miami? Or do I just want to completely relax and not see anybody? Naples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last week I got in my car and I drove to Miami.
Okay.
And I just wanted to have a different, feel, and I wanted to be in a city. And I went to the design district. I mean, I've been there lots of times before, but I took myself to lunch and I went shopping and I felt like I had been away. It was so great.
It's amazing.
And it's so easy to get to. And I wore a black dress.
Yeah, right. You changed your outfit.
I did. And it was really fun.
Yeah.
And they're very COVID complacent. Or no, not complacent.
Compliant.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And I loved it. And it was like an hour and a couple minutes to get. There was nothing.
Yeah. So a great thing to do for Miami, which I love to do, is drive, stay at the Mandarin Oriental on Brickell Key, I think it's called.
Okay.
And then they have this mall with a great Saks Fifth Avenue, and you feel like you're in Latin America. I mean, it is stores from Latin America, things you don't get anywhere else.
And you hear Spanish constantly,
Everyone's
so you really
speaking Spanish.
Love that.
There's an amazing movie theater, great restaurants, roof deck restaurants,
fun.
and you feel like you're in a whole different world.
Right.
And you do kick back you keep the Stubbs and Wooten and the navy blazer back at home.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Because Miami is just cooler and hipper and
much more.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what else can we expect to hear from you, buddy? I mean, not that you haven't, you need any more. You're so busy. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm very active in the Alzheimer's Drug Discovery Foundation.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you brought that up. Good.
Thank you. So my dad suffers from Alzheimer's, which is a terrible disease. But there are a lot of groundbreaking medicines and treatments that are out there, and I'm just trying to be a part of that and help with that cause, because if we could slow that or stop it in its tracks,
eradicate
that would be
it.
Great, because it's a really slow burn and it's rough.
Yeah, it's tough on the whole family.
It is.
So what are you guys doing in terms of charity events?
There's a luncheon in March. There's a junior committee that started that I'm part of. So that's great. And
junior committee meaning under 50. How does that work? Under 40.
All right. So that's another thing. Yeah. So
I'm not on a junior committee anymore. I don't like this. I mean, give me a break.
Okay. So junior committee is under 50. So I guess I've got another couple of years. But I'm also on the junior committee of the Heart Ball with Virginia Oatley, who's a riot. And she and I have been chairs of the junior committee for 6.5 years now. And I told the head of the Heart Association, I said, I think it's like time to pass the baton. She's like, I think we've got 2 more years of this. I was like, all right, we'll do it. But it is time to pass. I mean, it's a little embarrassing.
You can have problems with your heart at any age. So it's a wonderful thing to support.
Exactly.
Actually.
But,
I just got my save the date in the mail last.
Oh, good.
Maybe the week here, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Good. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
which is really
fun.
great.
It'll be. I guess we'll be back at the Breakers.
That's in February.
February 14th on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, we all have to get a red dress.
You do.
Yes,
absolutely.
I know. I do. Okay, and Alzheimer's then is going to be in March. Do you know where that's going to be?
Luncheon, I think it's usually at the Colony.
Okay,
but I'll get you more details on that.
Okay, good.
And then
because it'll be fun to announce all these events when they start happening again. I really hope they do. I hope across the country that this breakthrough virus stops.
I do.
Right.
Yeah. It's rough, but I think it's getting better. We hope. I mean,
I hope so.
If people are responsible, then it will.
Right.
It will be okay.
Get vaccinated. Believe in science.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's it. I mean, otherwise, I want to hopefully kill it again this winter with selling Palm Beach real estate and making records, and that's the goal.
Sounds good, kiddo.
Yes.
Really sounds great. We're really happy for you, and I'm thrilled that you're my second guest.
Thank you. I'm honored.
And I love watching your career. It's so exciting. And I know we covered you a lot when I was the editor-in-chief of Modern Luxury Palm Beach, and it's just been really fun to see your success and just to just everyone's really proud of you because everyone loves you a lot. So
thank you so much.
It's really great. So before I start to cry,
well, it's great to see you in this
thank
role
you.
too, because this is awesome for you.
So fun. It's just so much fun.
And you're natural at it.
Thank you so much.
No, very much so.
I co-hosted Martha Stewart's morning show on Sirius Radio for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And that was so much fun. It was the call-in show, 3 hours. It was a blast. And then I had my own show on Sirius called Fashionable Living. And then when terrestrial radio was kind of around, right? Remember that? My dearest friend, Jen Martin, and I co-hosted something called A Fashionable Life on WGCH 1490 out of Greenwich, Connecticut. And that was really great. And that kind of led to our television career. And we were on ABC and Good Morning America, every week doing fashion segments. We covered Fashion Week before anybody was.
Oh, cool.
And it was just so much fun. So I love doing this. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be very good for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Very good. Very successful.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And stay tuned, guys. We're going to come back for a third episode of Perfectly Palm Beach.